Fill out your tourney brackets now in the Fox Sports Radio Bracket Challenge. Visit foxsportsradio.com to register. Fill out your bracket and get the rules. Compete against Fox Sports Radio hosts like yours truly and my partner Rob Parker and fellow listeners to see who has the best bracket. The winning bracket wins the ultimate college sports trip for you and a friend with a $2,000 Graduate Hotels gift card, a $1,500 travel credit, and a basketball swag bag. Wow. Sounds tremendous. The foxsportsradio.com bracket challenge is now live and is presented by Graduate Hotels, where college fans stay. Also by Tractor Supply. Rob, let's go to the NFL now, though. And there was a big trade. The Steelers, Rob, just days after signing Russell Wilson, go out and get Justin Fields, who we talked about, 2021, the 11th pick of that draft. Supposed to be a great one. The verdict's still out. He's not like some of these guys where you there's no hope, or at least not a lot of hope left. But the jury is definitely still out on him. And he was traded, Rob, for a 6th round pick that could become a 4th round pick depending on how much he plays. I think it's 51%.
So what? Conditional 6th round, right?
Yeah,
that could move up
to
4.
But the Bears, Rob, are saying, or at least I'm sure that's where it's coming from, but there are reports saying that the Bears turned down better offers for Justin so they could put him in a good situation. He's expected to back up Russell Wilson this year. And, if Russ doesn't play well, Justin probably will play. But it is an opportunity, Rob, for him to kind of be their quarterback of the future in Pittsburgh if he plays well. But what are your thoughts on that, notion that the Bears turned down a better offer to go ahead and make Justin happy, send him to a good situation?
I don't buy that at all. That sounds like spin. They held on to him too long, Chris, and that's the best they could do with that with Justin Fields to get a conditional 6th round because they waited. They didn't make up their minds early enough. All the other teams started getting quarterbacks. There was nowhere to go. Like it didn't make any sense. So now they're trying to do right by him for what? What, did you not pay him when he was there? What do you do? What did he do, Chris? Did he win a Super Bowl that I forgot about? What do they owe Justin Fields other than an honest money, right, pay for honest day's work? What do they owe him? Well, they didn't do anything. Are you kidding?
I tend to agree with you.
Come on.
This is spin. I definitely think it's spin.
Where's Bill O'Reilly when you need him? Because this is a spin job.
I will say this, though, Rob. Where I think it possibly could be true, I don't know who else was interested. Rob, it was just teams didn't seem interested in him. It's simple as that, right? But I think that they got a conditional 6th round pick. So what is better? Did somebody offer an unconditional 6th round pick where it can't become a 4th round pick or something better than 6, or did somebody offer a 5th round pick and you turn that down? Why would they possibly turn something like that down, Rob? I'll say this. People view it as they didn't put Justin Fields in a good situation to succeed, right? They didn't put the pieces around him. He had 2 head coaches. He had 2 offensive coordinators in his 3 years there. So they want the perception out there that, hey, we're doing right by the player, guys. He was popular in the locker room. Guys liked him. So they want to send a message to the guys that are still on their roster. Hey, we took care of Justin. He's in a great situation with a great franchise. We took care of him. And then they want to send the message around the league, too, that, they take care of players. You come to Chicago, we'll look out for your best interest. We care about your future, whether you're with us or not. I tend to agree with you. Now, if it was a 5th round pick or a unconditional 6th round pick, I could see them doing that, Rob. If it's that close where it's not that big of a difference, yeah, you want to send him to a good situation. I could see that. But if we're talking about somebody offering them a 4th round pick, a 3rd round pick, then you are out of your mind to turn something down that's that much better to take care of the guy. Because as you said, you only owe him his paycheck. You treat him with respect. You treat him with dignity. You pay him his money. That's what you owe him. And that's it. But I could see them for their reputation, if you will, doing it if it was just slightly better. And it's any notion, Rob, though, in my opinion, that they turned down they could have got a 2nd. There was a 3rd round pick offered for Justin. That may be true, Rob, weeks or months ago.
Well, there you go.
That's the thing, right? Like they waited too long, to your point.
Yes.
Maybe they did have a 2nd round pick on the table at one point, and they waited and it went away. But that's the only way I could see them,
Because if you're a Bears fan or a player or something, you're like, we had a chance to get a better pick, and you didn't get the better like.
Well, do you agree with me? Like, if it was just slightly better.
Well, but if it's slightly, but it just sounds silly to brag that you had a better deal on the table and you turned it down because you wanted to do right by the player. This is the NFL. You know how many guys have gotten jerked around, Chris, and not paid and used up? You know what I mean? We're different franchises. The Patriots have the history of not paying their players, and the right. Eagles and some other teams that didn't pay guys. That didn't stop other guys from going there. That's not going to clean up your reputation. The problem is the Bears, have gone through so much management and coaches. They just can't get it right. Like they can't get it right. And then to say or to brag about or put out there that, oh, yeah, we had a way better deal on the table. We just, we want to make sure that Justin's in the right place or do right by him. Then you should have kept him. If you're that crazy about him, you ain't that crazy about him. Nobody's going to lose any sleep. Guys get traded every day. Guys get cut every day, Chris, right? I say it all the time. Wayne Gretzky was traded.
Right. Yeah, I look, even with all that said, I can still see a team, if they can, doing right by the guy. Now, again, if the pick or the offer is that much better, significantly better, you have to do what's best for your team. Because then you're hurting your other players, right? By not taking a higher pick or, stuff like that. And you look stupid and you're hurting your team and your chances of keeping your job. But if it was close, again, maybe an unconditional 6th round pick and it won't get any better. Maybe something like that. But, so Rob, what is your thought on, Russell Wilson, at least according to reports, is their starter? Do you think it should be that way, or you think it should be like a QB competition? They both enter camp kind of equal, and you see who may the best man win?
I think they're going to start with Russell Wilson, see how he plays.
Right. I agree. Do you think that's how they should?
Yeah, that's what they should do. I just think one guy, Chris, Russell Wilson, he played well. I mean, I'm not saying he was a all-pro or anything, but he
was fine.
He played well last year. He wasn't the only reason why Denver didn't make the playoffs or collapse or whatever you want to say.
70 in the game.
Okay. Right, exactly. So I don't have an issue because it's only a 1-year deal. You might catch lightning in a bottle. He might be looking for another opportunity, Chris. What if he goes out and balls out and plays well? This guy's been to 2 Super Bowls. He won 1. He ain't 40. You know what I mean? He's not 40.
Right.
I just think that you could do that, and Justin Fields is young enough that it's okay if he starts on the bench and then eventually gets there.
It could be good for him.
We saw Aaron Rodgers sit for 3 years, Chris.
Right.
3 years.
The difference between Jordan Love earlier
and Jordan Love,
career
there you go,
and
sitting. Right, there you go.
Huge.
And another one. He sat for 3 years.
Right. No, I think they should enter camp with Russell as the number one quarterback on the depth chart.
I mean, if Justin Fields is just right,
two.
and if
Right.
he just
He
lights
has
it
to
up,
outplay
he
him
has to be like,
dramatic.
oh my God, like
Absolutely.
when Pete Carroll went with Russell Wilson over who was the quarterback they got
that's
from
a good call.
Matt Flynn
Matt
from
Flynn.
the Packers, who they signed to a
Yep.
big deal. If it's that obvious, Chris, just like when Jim Harbaugh saw Kaepernick and said, "Oh no,
Right.
Kaepernick's
Right.
going to be my quarterback," and people were like, "What?" Right?
Right.
Over Alex Smith, and what he made the right choice. They went to the Super
Right.
Bowl.
No, I agree. Like that's that. If it's close or Fields is slightly better or it's even, you go with Russell, and you let him play. You let Fields learn under him. I think it's a short leash, Rob. I think if 4 games in, Russell is terrible, and Fields has been looking good, you could go to Fields. But Russell should start as number one on the depth chart. And, you'll see what happens. But it's so much easier also, Rob, to go from Russ to Justin than Justin to Russ. Because if Russ didn't start, he's going to be upset. And his mood could taint the locker room. He'd say the right things and try to put on a good face. But you'll know body language and, all that. Whereas if he starts the first 4 games, plays horribly, and he's benched, he can be mad, but other guys are going to be like, dude,
Yeah, there's nothing you can do. You're not playing
Right.
well. I mean,
right. We got to go with Justin.
Right. You could justify. It's hard to argue if
Right.
you're not playing well.
Right. But I tell you what, Rob, the Steelers, they went from having no starting caliber quarterbacks to maybe having 2 in a week. So good on them, Rob. We were talking all these reports about they weren't interested. They were going with Kenny Pickett. They don't want Fields. They don't want Wilson, all that. It was hogwash. It's good on the Steelers because they got them, Rob. They got 2 starting caliber quarterbacks. One who maybe could be their long-term answer. I mean, actually both, if you're talking about the next 3 years or so. Maybe Russ plays well, and he's your guy for the next 3 years. But they got both of them, Rob, for less than $4 million a year, or about $4 million a year.
And you know what? They'll get a chance to see them both and then make
Yep.
a decision, too, to see if they want to keep one of them or none of them. Like, they really are in a great position because it didn't cost them anything.